Hi and welcome to Rebecca Inspires. Thanks for tuning in. I haven't done a video blog for a few weeks because it's been the Easter holidays, but I hope you've enjoyed the spring break, whether it's been sunny or snowy with you. This week is about leadership, and with the death of Margaret Thatcher, there's a lot of discussion about what makes a great leader. And I like to compare the two leaders, Margaret Thatcher and Nelson Mandela, because I think it's helpful to realise that there are different ideas about great leadership. On the one hand, Nelson Mandela was very much about peace, reconciliation, justice, fairness, working together, collaborating, creating a new future for a lot of people who had previously no future at all to talk of. Whereas on the other hand, you had Thatcher, who was very decisive, very certain, very principled, very patriotic, and believed in a different kind of fairness, or she would have called it fairness, very different sort to that of Nelson Mandela. Their styles were completely different, almost at opposite ends of the spectrum. Mandela very humble, very quiet, although a really good speaker, and Thatcher quite stern, quite firm, and quite a powerful speaker as well. She could also be incredibly patronising. And they have two diverse sets of followers as well. Perhaps you could think of Mandela as much more left-wing, Margaret Thatcher obviously much more right-wing. And those two groups both think of those individuals as their great leader. And I guess they encapsulate some of the stuff that we want in our great leaders in the corporate world, not all of it. And the likes of Gandhi, again, a great leader, encapsulates some of what we want in a great leader in the corporate world, but not all of it. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could combine the essence of Mandela and Thatcher for the corporate world and have somebody who was humane, fair, believed in justice and doing the right thing, and somebody who is also decisive, strong, powerful, created a powerful vision that you could follow. They both did that actually. And yet we don't, because we are ultimately, leaders in business are ultimately human beings, and we have massive failings and massive weaknesses. So the key, therefore, as a great leader is to understand where those weaknesses are and recruit people around you that compensate for those weaknesses. So Thatcher's mistake perhaps was to get rid of those more liberal-minded individuals who could have helped to soften or ease those bitter pills that the nation perhaps needed to follow. And Mandela maybe could have done with somebody who was more commercial, more hard-edged, to help him create a more sustainable South Africa economically. So combining those two things maybe would have created the ultimate leader. We're never going to achieve that because we are human beings and we're pretty frail when it comes down to it. But what we can achieve is to recognise our own weaknesses and compensate for those by recruiting people around us who have the strengths that we don't have, and to be able to recognise those strengths and to be able to encourage those strengths and value those strengths. We saw the former chief executive of the Bank of Scotland giving up his knighthood and 30% of his pension this week too. He clearly didn't recruit people around him who said, hang on a minute, what you're doing isn't quite right. He didn't listen to those perhaps softer lined people, and certainly that kind of attitude wasn't valued in his organisation at that point in time. So my question to you this week is, are you valuing the right things in your organisation? Are you making sure that there's a balance on the board, there's a balance in your leadership team, if you like? And are you as the leader making sure that you're recruiting the right people around you that can compensate for your weaknesses. And by the way, you do have some. Okay, thanks very much, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.